What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric, and today we are checking out this 2018 Made in America Dean Far Beyond Driven tribute. Let's get into this. So as you just heard and saw, this is the 2018 Far Beyond Driven Dean ML Dimebag Darrell signature. It's one of 100 made in America and from the year 2018. Very limited run of guitars, and they're very hard to find right now, and I have the pleasure of borrowing this one from a good buddy of mine, and I'm going to tell you all about it. A quick introduction to the guitar that this guitar is replicating. So this guitar was built to replicate Dimebag Darrell's original 1979 Dean ML Standard Series, and that's a very important thing. The Standard Series has a nice flame maple top, as you can see here. It has the binding as well, ebony fingerboard. It has a few more nicer appointments than the Flame Series, which is what the Dean from Hell started as. The Dean from Hell doesn't have binding, has a rosewood board, things like that, doesn't have a flame maple top or anything like that. Still a great guitar, just doesn't have a few other bells and whistles that the Standard Series came from the factory with. And you might be familiar with Dimebag's original 1979 Dean ML because that one was used primarily in the music video for the song Walk from the band Pantera. You could also see it in a few shots from the music video This Love, and it basically served its life in all of the covering all of the D standard Pantera songs, and it honestly got its name because it was used on pretty much the entire Far Beyond Driven album, which is what this guitar is called. It's called the Far Beyond Driven guitar. And a couple interesting facts about Dimebag's 1979 Dean ML that this one is recreating is that it went through a number of different pickups throughout the years. You could see it having a Seymour Duncan pickup in the bridge with pole pieces. That is what it was retired with, but there are many pictures that I'll try and throw on screen right now where it has different pickups. It's essentially just different colors and variations of the Bill Lawrence XL 500, which is what Dimebag basically played throughout his entire career in Pantera until he switched to the Dimebucker in the later years and in Damage Plan as well. So let's go over the specs on this guitar here. This guitar, as I said earlier, is a faithful recreation of Dimebag's 1979 Dean ML, and this guitar is a comprehensive package of everything that Dimebag did to his guitar and basically how the guitar was last found when he retired it. So we have a mahogany body and neck on this guitar here. We have a nice V-shaped neck, which is very important to the feel of these American-made or just these Dimebag guitars in general, whether it's Dean or Washburn. Personally, if it has a C-shaped neck, it just makes it feel like another guitar. If it has a V-shaped neck, it just kind of makes it feel a little bit more special for how unique these guitars are, on top of actually looking a little bit more exciting. We also have Grover tuners up top here, 18:1 ratio. We have a nice big old volute on the back here to make sure the headstock doesn't snap off, even though it snapped off many times on Dimebag's Dean from Hell. And we have 22 nickel frets on a 24 5/8 scale fingerboard here, which feels super duper comfy. We have a 3-way toggle selector, 2 volumes, 1 tone. We have a top mounted Floyd Rose bridge, as I said earlier. These guitars came from the factory back in the 70s and the 80s with hardtail bridges, and the only way to get a Floyd Rose on your guitar was to actually make it top mounted. Just because of the neck angle, the way the guitar was designed, you could not have a recessed Floyd Rose. It just didn't work out like that. And otherwise, we have two pickups here. The two pickups in this guitar right now include a DiMarzio Super Distortion. This comes factory when you order this guitar, or if you're able to order this guitar brand new. And we also have a gray wire Bill Lawrence XL500. If you didn't take bridge pickup out, you would have had a Seymour Duncan neck distortion pickup in the bridge here, which is very interesting. I've played that pickup before in the bridge, and it's not really my go-to. I feel Dimebag maybe try that because it is a little bit lower output, so he can get a little bit more clarity since he was running so much gain on his rig. Another interesting thing, we have the Dimebag traction knob, so when you are gripping the volume knob, you're not going to miss it, especially if you need to turn up and down the volume very fast. You have these little grips here that will make that much easier for you to do. And that's kind of it for more or less the specs and like a sort of the history on this guitar. There's not a ton of information on this guitar like there is for the Dean from Hell. It seems like this guitar was brought in just for the D standard songs, and it really came to life on the albums like Far Beyond Driven, and I bet this was used in a lot of the writing sessions for the Great Southern Trendkill, as well as a lot of the Washburns that got brought into the fold around that time of 1995. It's kind of a shame there's not a ton more information on this guitar that I could share with you, but if you know something about this guitar that I apparently don't know or haven't listed off so far, leave it in the comments below. I would love to talk about it and learn from you guys as well, because this guitar was always just a D standard guitar, and it seems like it doesn't have the crazy legacy that the Dean from Hell has. It seems like that guitar has been documented so much, whereas this guitar has been documented a good amount of times, but not in the level of depth that the Dean from Hell has. So maybe that can change, you know, as the Dimebag estate kind of opens up a little bit more. Maybe we will start to learn a few more things about this guitar as well. But as I just said, if you know something about this guitar that I don't know, drop it in the comments below, because I would love to learn that from you. So without further ado, let's plug this into my computer and just see how this guitar sounds on its own outside of a mix. video on the 2018 Dean Far-Beyond Driven Tribute. Remember, this is an American one. Hard to find, hard to get, and if you are able to find one, definitely go for it if it's within your wheelhouse and if it's within your budget as well. Otherwise, if it's not in your wheelhouse, there are other alternatives, especially taking another guitar similar to this and modding it to your own specs if this is not at your price point. All applicable links are down below. Let me know in the comments below if you have any extra information on the origins of Dimebag's original 1979 Dean ML or the Far-Beyond Driven ML. And if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that you obviously enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. I have tons more content like this on my channel as well as covers and other gear demos and reviews and things like that. And I also have videos on the channel that go over how to maintain, restore, and fix certain aspects of your guitar and give it a general setup, which are certain things that you should be doing to your guitar. Thanks for checking this out, and I will see you next time.